Hello, how are you doing? Can you believe it? It's the first Friday of May, which means it's the first Friday of the month, so it's time for some First Friday free Fairbanks fiction. So, just to let you know what I've been up to recently before we get into the free fiction, I'm having a good time. Yeah, birthday month is April, so I had my birthday. I had a nice little adventure down to Lyme Regis, the Jurassic Coast, saw some fossils. Um, on the writing front, I wrote a brand new story all about the theme was ocean animals, and I submitted it to this fantastic magazine called Honey Guide, which features fiction and blog posts and poems all about kind of animals and all the great effects they have on their human neighbours. The submission deadline was the end of April, so I'm crossing my fingers because it would be an absolute honour to feature in that magazine. And also great for me personally to have a brand new 3,000 word short story that I'm really proud of that will, I'm sure, appear in a future collection. If you don't know, I've got three collections. I've got breadcrumbs, I've got boomsticks, and I've got bell jars. But yeah, very keen to have a fourth one. Not sure what I'm going to call it. Maybe bath bombs. Who knows? You can see the trend there with the naming convention. I'll have a think. But a great story. I'm very excited about getting out in the world. Whether it's next month or next year, it'll be a good one. And then on the reading front, I'm just finishing off a great novel called Dangerous Women by Hope Adams. Just a really fun read. It's like a ship carrying convicts, female convicts, is going to Australia, and in the middle of the ocean, one of them gets stabbed. So now it's like a locked room murder mystery, but the locked room is a ship, and the ship's in the middle of an ocean. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Perfect. I also read Thin Air by Michelle Paver, which is every bit as good as everyone says. It's essentially a ghost story up a snowy mountain in the 1930s. So it's not just like gothic fiction, it's like gothic expedition fiction, which is a really cool like sub genre that's like springing up. There's a great novel by Ali Wilkes called All the White Spaces, which also fits within that gothic expedition genre. I think she might have even come up with that name. Anyway, I promised you some free fiction, courtesy of Fairbanks, because it's the first Friday, so let me just find it for you. So, quite a short one this week, and it's a horror story, and I'm going to get into it. It is called Munchkin. So, Munchkin, yeah. Here we go then. Daddy! Christ, not again. Trevor's daughter was having more nightmares. Worst of all, it was his turn. It always seemed to be his turn at 2 a.m. Never mind that he had work in the morning. Trevor stumbled down the corridor to his daughter's bedroom, still half asleep. It wasn't the first time he'd been dragged out of bed for this nonsense. Hell, it wasn't even the first time this week. He found his daughter whimpering under her in-the-night garden duvet. She was getting too old for that thing. She was certainly getting too old for this. Munchkin, this has to stop, he groaned. You're 7 now. Big girls aren't supposed to be afraid of monsters. The incessant sobbing continued, so Trevor did the obligatory checks. He stumbled around her room like an idiot, shielding his eyes from the garish pink of her nightlight. He swore that was half the problem. It gave her room this ultraviolet glow, almost like a crime scene, the sort that forensic teams use to detect splatter marks. And it caused so many damn shadows. The light stretched and distorted the shadow of her mobile until it looked like a mangled birdcage. Trevor had smashed her first night light. He tore it from the wall and stomped it. But that solved nothing. She had refused to leave her parents' bedroom until Kim bought her a new one. Look, Munchkin, nothing behind the curtains. Just a bunch of Barbie dolls, he thought to himself, plastic and unblinking, as if coated in embalming fluid. And nothing under the bed, except dust and lint, he added. When did Kim last vacuum in here? Finally, some movement. A pudgy arm popped out from under the covers, pointing across the room. There's a monster in my cupboard, said a voice deep beneath the duvet. It sounded like she was speaking through a mouthful of snot. Trevor was repulsed. For some reason it made his temper flare. No, there bloody isn't. He crossed the room in 2 strides and threw open the cupboard doors. He looked inside, and his heart stopped. His daughter sat inside. She was shivering in a pool of blood, pale and terrified. Her left arm was missing. It had been ripped off at the shoulder. "Daddy, there's a monster in my bed," she whispered. Before Trevor could turn around or even scream, he was shoved forward. He slipped in the blood and fell on top of his daughter. "No!" He heard the cupboard doors slam shut behind him. Whatever had pushed Trevor had followed him inside. Now there really was a monster in the cupboard, and it was hungry. So I hope you liked that. That was a bit of flash fiction, just 500 very tight economical words. I wrote it many years ago, yeah, it's like a twist on the monster in the cupboard scenario. I hope you liked it. It's a pleasure to read to you and offer you something free on the first Friday of every month. If you like that, if you'd like to learn more about my writing and my reading habits, then please do go to simonfairbanks.com/newsletter and you can sign up. Better yet, go to simonfairbanks.com/book club. And if you sign up on that page, you will get an email with a completely free fantasy novella just for you, set within my magical Nephos world, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I would love you to join me, and I invite you to do so. Anyway, have a good long weekend. King Charles III is getting coronated. His coronation is tomorrow, so I'm sure many of you will be watching that, if you're in the UK at least. And if you're in the US or anywhere else in the world, yeah, do go watch us do our very British pomp and ceremony thing, because King Charles III is going to get a nice shiny hat. Cool. Right, bye for now. See you later.